So Shibai's abilities were in front of us this whole time and they have been revealed. Yo, what's up YouTube? What's going on today? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're talking about Shibai's insane abilities and have they been revealed to us. So let's get into it. Shibai Otsutsuki was first revealed in Boruto chapter 75, and it was said that Shibai evolved so much that he ascended to a higher dimension, leaving his body behind. This makes you question, how strong was Shibai? Well, we're going to discuss his powers, since they were in front of us this whole time. Amado says that Shibai has various abilities, and these abilities were incredible. Some of those powers being that he was able to generate storms with the wave of his hand and call forth thunderbolts with just roaring. Amado describes his abilities being shinjutsus, which are godlike abilities. This makes Shibai sound very powerful, in which he is. This is where it gets interesting though. What are Shibai's powers? Shibai's powers have already been shown to us throughout all of Boruto, and that is in the form of Kara. I think all the inner Kara members have been given Shibai's abilities. We know this because of Amado confirming that he used Shibai's DNA to make Ida and Damon's powers. He also mentioned that Code's Claw and Ishiki's Sukuna Hikona and Deikokuten are also divine abilities. So is it possible that those abilities also belong to Shibai? I think that is a possibility because of Shikamaru asking Katasuke that is it possible to transplant a person's abilities in another person, to which Dr. Katasuke says it is possible. So what if Amado implanted Shibai's skills in all of Kara, and that includes Ishiki, as Ishiki does possess a similar eye to Shibai. So I think it might have been possible that Ishiki might have taken Shibai's eye and implanted it in himself, and even possibly had Amado transplant it in him, thus giving him Deikokuten and Sukuna Hikona. Since implanting is possible, according to Dr. Katasuke, that could explain how Ishiki has those abilities, and since Otsutsuki's evolved by eating genetic information, Ishiki's genetics then went into Kawaki through his karma, thus giving him Ishiki's eye, which is actually Shibai's eye, and this is how Kawaki can use Deikokuten and Sukuna Hikona, which are divine abilities that you can use without casting them. But that isn't even all of Shibai's abilities. Let's break it down even more. Here are all the Kara members. We got Ishiki, Code, Delta, Boro, Victor, Kashin Koji, Deepa, Amado, Kawaki, and we have the last Kara member being Olga. And the final two, which aren't inners, but you can include them, and that is Damon and Ida. Now let's look at all these members and their individual powers. Let's start with Deepa. Deepa has superhuman strength. He can manipulate atoms to harden his body. His armor is pretty strong and he could activate it without casting it. He was also able to make projectiles since he could manipulate carbon. Deepa being a scientific ninja tool, it could make sense on how he was able to have these abilities without ninjutsu. So I think these are Shibai's abilities. Now let's look at Victor. Victor also possesses superhuman strength. He possessed all 5 elements and he himself was a superhuman. He was able to regenerate at high speeds, and those weren't ordinary regenerating skills. These were powerful regenerating skills. He was able to use this without casting, and these healing abilities weren't ordinary. So this is Shibai's ability, instant regeneration. Now let's look at Boro. Boro had 3 elements. He has poison and he has superhuman strength. But these last 2 are important, that being instant regeneration and to manipulate his virus. So Boro's divine abilities are his regeneration and his virus. Mitsuki says that he can't think of any ninjutsu that can make a real virus. That means that Boro's virus is not man-made, which explains why the karma can't absorb it since it is a real element. So if his virus is not chakra made as Mitsuki thought it is, then what is it? I think it is a shinjutsu, aka divine ability, and it's possible that Amado installed it in Boro's body, as Sarada says that the virus is cultivated into his body. This tells us that Amado implanted this ability in Boro, since it is possible to implant Otsutsuki abilities according to Dr. Katasuke, Shikamaru, and Amado. Now let's look at Delta. This is where it gets interesting. Delta possesses eyes that can absorb and release ninjutsu, which is similar to the karma, but most importantly, it is similar to Deikokuten, as Ishiki did absorb Kashin Koji's attack and used it against Naruto in Baryon mode. And if those abilities belong to Shibai, that can explain how she can use abilities similar to Deikokuten. But that's not the juicy part. She possesses eyes that can shoot beams of destruction, and it is said that if you get hit with it, you can't regenerate, which was shown with Kawaki, as his arm couldn't regenerate until Amado reconstructed it. Even Naruto knew it would be game over for him if he got hit by it. So So what are Delta's eyes? If they have abilities like Daikokuten and can stop regenerative users, these eyes must have also been shaped off of Shibai's abilities, as he can use them without casting. And he uses against other foes, maybe even Otsutsuki's that were able to regenerate. So next we have Kashin Koji, but I wouldn't say much for Koji except his eternal flames. Like Amaterasu, they keep burning. Otherwise, he is an exact copy of Jiraiya, but is a bit more ruthless. Now let's look at Kawaki. Kawaki possesses Ishiki's abilities through his karma, but besides that, Kawaki is able to transform his body, mainly his arms and hands. But I think Kawaki possesses Shibai's abilities through Ishiki's DNA in his karma. Other than that, Kawaki isn't that special in terms of modification. So Kawaki can use Daikokuten and Sukuna Hikona, which he got from Ishiki, which I believe Ishiki got from Shibai. Now, let's look at Ishiki. Ishiki possesses Daikokuten and Sukuna Hikona. I don't think those two abilities belong to him. That is because of the type of Otsutsuki he is. Every Otsutsuki we've seen so far has a Byakugan or Rinnegan, except Shibai and Ishiki. So what if Ishiki took Shibai's eyes after he left his body behind, and this allowed Ishiki to possess divine abilities like Daikokuten and Sukuna Hikona, which then got transferred to Kawaki. As Otsutsuki's evolved, and Kawaki being a new Otsutsuki, he essentially ate Ishiki and gained his abilities, giving him Ishiki's powers. So Ishiki possesses Shibai's powers too. Now we look at Code. Amado confirmed that Code's claws are a divine ability. So where did these divine abilities come from? They came from Shibai, as Amado wasn't able to make divine abilities unless he implanted them from Shibai, since he did confirm that Ida and Damon's powers come from Shibai. But if you think about it, those abilities just didn't appear out of nowhere. They had to have come from somewhere, and Amado having Shibai's remains, he was able to transplant them. So Code possesses Shibai's powers in the form of a claw, and possibly that belt as well. So now we have Ida. Ida possesses a Senraigan, which Momoshiki confirms is a divine power, and Amado confirms that this power is made from Shibai's DNA. But her love ability is not a divine ability, as Momoshiki says her and Amado are lying. So she's still suspect, and possibly she still possesses more powers that we don't know of yet. Now we have Damon. Damon's reflective ability is beyond OP. He possesses superhuman strength, but the strange thing about Damon besides his reflective ability is the fact that his eyes represent the moon and are similar to Ida's eyes. So what if Ida's and Damon's eyes are a part of a full eye that was split into two, which belongs to Shibai? I think that could be possible, as Damon may possess more abilities we don't know of yet, and Damon and Ida's eyes combined equal a greater eye. But as of right now, his reflective ability is a divine ability according to Amado, and does in fact belong to Shibai. So now that just leaves Amado. We don't know anything of Amado besides him being super smart, super manipulative, and is able to modify and implant Otsutsuki DNA's powers, etc., like the karma, as he did modify Kawaki's karma and gave him his karma back. So he may possess something we don't know of yet, and it may be possible that he possesses Shibai's smarts, and maybe transplanted Shibai's brain in himself. That could explain how Amado is super smart and knows how to use alien technology, because as Dr. Katasuke did say, implanting Otsutsuki abilities into a person is really hard, even with scientific ninja tools. So he's saying that Amado may have to possess something more in order to transplant these abilities. So for all we know, Amado may have implanted Shibai's brain or copied his brain into himself, thus giving Amado all these ideas, since this guy did want to bring back his daughter, and that's probably where he got the idea from. He knew that if Otsutsuki can cheat death, he may be able to cheat his daughter's death and bring her back.
It's also possible that Olga, the final Kara member that we got revealed to, could possibly have Shibai's brain as well, since she herself did say that her brain was enhanced and that she is a non-combat type. So it could be possible that Amado actually transplanted Shibai's smarts into Olga, and that she was helping Amado investigate into the heart.
So Amado is still pretty suspect. So there you have it. These are all the inner Kara members. They all possess abilities that are OP and out of this world. It makes perfect sense that Amado, having Shibai's remains, was able to install his abilities in every Kara member. So all these members are a part of Shibai. So this all leads back to the original question. How strong is Shibai and what are his abilities? Based on the Kara members, his abilities are as follows. He has insane strength. He manipulates all natures. He has a strong armor through manipulating carbon. He has instant regeneration. He possesses a virus type of attack that he can control the virus. He possesses eyes or abilities that can destroy regenerative users by shooting beams and absorbing and releasing attacks. He also possesses a reflective ability that redirects the intent of the attack. He has eyes that can see into the past and can see current events. He possesses Sukuna Hikona and Daikokuten, an eye similar to Ishiki. He also possesses the Rinnegan and Byakugan, so he already has those two eyes abilities. All of this combined makes one a powerful person. So that is how strong Shibai is, especially if he can make thunderbolts by roaring and storms by waving his hand. On top of him having all the abilities in Kara and possibly more, makes this one Otsutsuki the strongest and OP Otsutsuki of all time. Though with Shibai being OP, I think Ishiki might have fought Shibai in the past, and I think that is possible, as Ishiki may have been Shibai's equivalent or somebody close to him. I think that because Ishiki possessed Shibai's remains. So it makes you question, how did Ishiki get Shibai's remains? Did he maybe defeat him? Or did Shibai really ascend into another dimension, leaving his remains behind? Who knows? Maybe Ishiki defeated him in his real prime. That is the question for the future. So that is Shibai's powers explained. This is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think of Shibai's abilities.